This is the new Arizona real estate market, and some things are changing. Arizona dropped to number 3 in the US for home price growth. That is after the month prior dropping to number 2, and leading the way are Tampa and Miami. Arizona led the nation for the last 3 years, so we're used to being number 1. I don't know if you want to be number 1 or not, but still it's at a 30% roughly year over year home price growth. This report was released at the end of June. Good, right? However, the data was collected, I think, back in April. Well, if you're paying attention, a lot has changed since April. We're nowhere near talking about those type of numbers anymore, and we're in a completely different type of market, and we're heading to a balanced market. But I tell you what, let's take this conversation inside my office where we'll continue it there.
Like I was saying, those numbers are from April, but where are we at currently? This is, honestly, it's the new market, what to expect moving forward here in Arizona, here in Phoenix Metro. So to give a snapshot over on current inventory and what we've seen over the last 10 days, I'm going to refer to my notes because I cannot remember anything. Homes for sale and coming soon, just talking single family detached, we're not talking condos, townhomes, that kind of thing. We're at 13,142. So that number is climbing like it has been, over the last few weeks. There is an average list price currently of $821, a median of $558. Now, take it with a grain of salt, those are the average list, not pending, not sold. So just, homes that are for sale, that is on average what people are asking out of those homes that are listed for sale and coming soon, single family detached. 3,920 price reductions. So as a matter of fact, I just had a price reduction on one of my own listings. This isn't, I don't think, unique, but a lot of sellers, leading up to this point, they're used to pricing their home at the top of the market or beyond and still getting a high amount of interest. Now, this doesn't mean home values have dropped, but it does mean buyers no longer have to give up every contingency under the sun. You can price your home without even paying attention to the market and still get interest. Now more than ever, you need to price your home where the market dictates it needs to be. And that market is changing, almost by the hour, at least right here. As fast and volatile as it was going up, it feels like it's doing the same as it goes more towards a balanced market. Now in the last 10 days, keep in mind, the holiday weekend, 4th of July, did happen in the last 10 days, but in the last 10 days, 2006 single family homes have sold. Average original list price of $631, an average list price of $617. So what I'm seeing there is people list at $631 on average. There's a reduction down to $617. Not saying everyone reduced, but on average. And then the average sold of $611. So that number from average sold to average original list and list is dropping more from when we spoke about this the last video. So keep in mind, it is quote unquote still a seller's market. We are rapidly approaching a balanced market. But over the last 2 years at least, we were so used to, just sell, everything selling so quick that you can't keep up with the appreciation, and it wasn't healthy anyway. But it's just, I think, what some sellers are getting used to, and I'm hearing fear in some sellers' voices when they're talking about selling their home and they want to sell it for a price that is nowhere near what it's worth. And that window of opportunity they feel is closing. For right now, it is still a seller's market, but we are moving toward that balanced market. The appreciation has already happened. So you're really playing with house money, but you have appreciated quite a bit. In the last year, most people $100,000, depending on the price point of your home. Something else I found interesting is I'm seeing a lot more incentives from builders. So incentives for buyers, from rate locks to buying move-in ready homes, and also for agents. Builders are starting to offer agents higher commission splits for taking a buyer to their property. That's something we didn't see from builders really at all over the last 2 years. Some builders opting not to pay agents anything for introducing a buyer to their homes. The market conditions continue to improve for buyers. other than the rising interest rates. But if you're a buyer where the interest rates are not going to affect you, too greatly, or you're a cash buyer, you should be happy with what you're seeing. Another thing when it comes to interest rates, the rates don't stay where they are forever, high or low, so they're going to change. So depending on what you're looking for, if you're even ready to buy a home, maybe you don't need one and this doesn't appeal to you or apply to you, but let's say you are ready to buy a home and the rates in the low to mid fives, but they are expected to go to 4.4 in 2024. Again, some of these predictions, expectations, I don't know how accurate they are or what the truth is going to become, but that is at least the number I'm seeing. So let's say you buy now and you're buying a $425,000 house and you're locked in at that, we'll say 5.25. By the time you get to that 4.4, they say it's going to go to in 2024, you'll owe around 413, give or take, and you refinance into that new lower rate, you'll save $250-ish per month once you refi. But the good thing, again, rates, they change. So I know people always talk about 2008 or when their parents bought, the interest rate was whatever, but obviously the home prices aren't what they are now. Most likely your home has never been more expensive than it is today. The appreciation that has happened has been insane. And I think honestly, I like a balanced market. I think it wins for everyone. Buyers don't feel like they have to give up every contingency. They don't have to waive appraisals, overpay. They don't have to give away inspections. And even with sellers, I know a lot of sellers were super stressed and they're going through this. And a lot of sellers also made a ton of money. Now sellers, you have to compete. You have to compete to get the buyer. So I think moving forward, especially as it changes so rapidly, we're going to see sellers offer to pay for some closing costs, give some incentives. You're going to see more price reductions. And we're also seeing more expired listings hit the market. Before, you wouldn't really see many expireds at all. If there were people just testing the market for a day or two, just hoping for whatever they could, almost like playing the lottery. But now we're seeing homes that are sitting, not getting any activity, and they're just not getting the offers. Especially when you look at some of the hedge funds, institutional buyers, Open Door, OfferPad, places like that. I don't see them giving those absurd overvalue offers that they were 12 months ago. I know one person in particular, they went to OfferPad and they had to offer $100,000 less than they were anticipating selling the home for. Now, I don't look at those as really to give the market value, and they have a whole strategy behind the way they buy homes, the way they can increase the neighborhood. They might lose money on one home, but they'll make it up in the 9 others they sell. But it is nice to pay attention to those companies and what they're doing with our real estate market here. So I'm going to pull up the Cromford Market Index. So when you see these numbers, they may look foreign to you. Just know above 100, strong seller's market. So higher above 100, the stronger the seller's market. Below 100, buyer's market. So as you look here, in 2022 January into February, we were at a 479.8 on the Cromford Market Index. Currently, we are at least last this report was done, we are at 160-ish. So that number is dropping like a roller coaster. I mean, it is straight down dropping. We are still a seller's market in the Cromford report, but it is changing very quickly. Now, looking at the average sales price per square foot, you can see back in July of 2021, around $250, $253, and that climbed all the way up to over $300. And then now we're falling under $300. So it climbed sharply, and now we're starting to see that decline. Now, annual appreciation, we're still up 17%. Change in monthly average, and annual 25%. But over the last 12 months, you can see that appreciation has definitely climbed. But what has happened in the last 12 months versus what is happening in the last 30 days and what is going to happen moving forward are definitely not going to mirror each other. Well, maybe they will mirror each other in the sharp change in market that we're going to see. And here when you look at the CMI, the Cromford Index again, supply index. So we still don't have enough homes, despite the numbers I've told you. But one thing to pay attention to is the rate in which we have had new listings hit the market, which has been extreme. So more properties hit the market lately than last year, that is for sure. We are still at a seller's market, but the demand is not quite there. Yes, we still have people moving here. Yes, there is demand, but it's not the demand we've had over the last, again, 12, 24, 36 months. Is really, 2020 is when this all happened. So another thing I like to look at is something called the listing success rate. So when a listing is put on the market, what is the odds it would sell? So historic average, 68.7%, according to the Cromford Index, Cromford report. This month we're at 81%. But if you look from, history going back over the last, 30 days, it was at 87% in early June, and it has slowly started dropping. And as I shoot this video in July, it's July 5th, 6th today, down to 81%. So that number is dropping. The balance of the market is going to be here sooner than later. It doesn't mean the sky is falling, but it is, something to pay attention to. With inflation, with the cost of goods increasing all around us, not just your home, but what it costs for you to live in that home, your utilities, your food, your fuel. I think that is where so many people are going to feel, the pinch of their home. But, what does that mean for the market moving forward? One, who are these sellers? Who's going to be the ones selling the home? Is it going to be your hedge funds, the people, institutional buyers? Or are they going to hold on to these properties and keep them as rentals? Is it landlords, secondary owners? How many of these do you think are going to be traditional buyers and sellers? And I think, it's going to be a mix. So I think these higher rates may prevent, some of your traditional sellers to, sell their home because they want, maybe a 4th bedroom, 5th bedroom, maybe they just want something different. That may prevent them. Maybe they're locked in at a 2.5, and now for them to go buy, they're at a 5.5, 5.25. So I think that will keep some inventory off. But, say you're a family of 4 like myself, and then you have a baby on the way, which we do not have another baby on the way. But say that happens, like, okay, now life changes. We need a bigger house. So for some things, it does not matter. That's life, and people need to buy and sell homes. But it'll be interesting to watch the trends on who these sellers are, who these buyers are, and where they're coming from. And again, are they financing the property? Are they, cash buyers? What is that going to do? And then when you look at, the rental inventory. So home prices and appreciation didn't just affect, traditional buyers, it also affected renters, with the rental rates being absurdly high. I mean, take Gilbert, Arizona, for example. 3-bed, 2-bath, you're going to spend most likely over $2,500 to rent a home, where 3 years ago, you're probably spending $1,700 for that same property. But what will renters do? Well, will they have more options now with more homes coming on the inventory? Will more investors pick those up? So now you're going to have more competition for renters, which will be good to help bring the rates back down. And then will that cause some landlords to get out of the business, causing more inventory to come? So a lot of what ifs, a lot of questions of what's going to happen with inventory, where the inventory is coming from, and how that will affect other things. Again, with secondary homes and traditional rental properties hitting the market. But as we continue to navigate this new market here in Arizona, we can't change it. The best thing we can do is adapt and prepare for it. So again, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know how long the government is going to kick the can down the road of putting things off. If the Fed is going to continue to increase the rate, what that looks like. But I do know that real estate is still happening. People are still moving here. People are still transacting. Appreciation is already set. However, if you're a seller, it is more important now than ever to price your home where it needs to be competitive. The days of you pricing it way too high and still getting showings, still getting offers, those are long gone. You need to be competitive. This is also where marketing stands out. You need to market your home like it needs to be. Too many agents got too complacent, too lazy, where they were doing cell phone photos, no videos, just very poor job, but they're still selling homes. But that's again why we saw what I heard the report of 20,000 agents not renew their license. So that is a huge number, very telling, and I'm sure it's going to affect the mortgage industry also. We're going to see a lot of lenders getting out of the business because it's not going to be the cakewalk that a lot of people have had the luxury of, experiencing. So you actually have to put in some work. But let me know, what do you think? What do you expect is going to happen with the market? What's it going to look like for Arizona? Do you think there's going to be another crash? Do you think we're going to see homes for pennies on the dollar again? Or do you think it's just going to be normal and it's just going to, just be normal? We just got spoiled, and not to say spoiled, but just used to the crazy high list price home selling in 2 days for way more than they should have. But let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear that kind of stuff. But if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out, watch these videos, and I will see you on the next one.